Have you ever gone to the mall? You're walking around, maybe you're with your friend, and something grabs your attention, and it makes you want to go into this particular store. Well, that is what we call visual merchandising. And I'm going to be discussing the topic of visual merchandising with you. This is going to be a 4-part series in which I go through the various components of visual merchandising. So tune in and let's get to defining what visual merchandising is and the various components that make it what it is and grabs your attention to go into the store. You're listening to Marketing Adventure, the hub for business, fashion, marketing, and other CTE educators who integrate marketing into the learning experience. I'm your host, Jackie Walker. Each week, I'll cover marketing education concepts, strategies, tips, trends, frameworks, and other information to equip you to connect your classroom to digital natives while cultivating an engaged learning environment. So come on into the room where your favorite beverage, snacks, and even your cell phone are all welcome. Let's dive into visual merchandising. What is visual merchandising besides the obvious word visual? Well, it's an element of the promotional mix, number one, and it involves all of the activities that incite your 3 senses: sight, hearing, and touch. And all of the things that it does is to drive traffic into the source, whether it's a retail store or even if it's an online shop. But it's going to drive traffic and draw your attention as the consumer to the product or the service and entice you to make a purchase. Ultimately, visual merchandising has 8 goals. One is to capture the interest of the customer. 2 is to entice the customer to enter the store or the website or the social media page. 3, it visually creates sales. And 4, it urges customers to make purchases. Ding, ding, ding. And then it promotes the store's image. It attracts attention to the merchandise or service. It educates the customer about the merchandise or the service that's being offered. And it encourages impulse buying. So let's talk about those. Now, we all know that a store's image is everything. I mean, when we just talk about ourselves individually, our image is everything. So, of course, any entity that is trying to gain customers, make sales, has to have the right image. And this is how customers perceive the retailer, the brand, the company. And it's based on some psychological factors. Additionally, many of the company stakeholders have a hand in creating the image that they want to be perceived. So visual merchandising plays a big part in that particular image that a company builds for itself. Now, a major part of building that image is branding, and you hear that a lot these days. The brand, branding yourself, branding your store, all of those things. Well, that is the comprehensive process of creating a collection of visual and tangible elements that customers recognize as belonging to a specific company, organization, and individual. So branding is very key to the whole idea of visual merchandising. As I go forward talking about visual merchandising, I'm particularly talking about for a retail outlet. However, many of these concepts and ideas may be applied to a website or a social media page. So just keep in mind, I'm going to reference a retail store, but these can transfer or translate over into an online environment in many ways. We're going to talk about the 8 components of visual merchandising. So the first component is signage, then exterior displays, interior displays, atmospherics, the floor plan, display elements, planograms, and those touch points. Today, I'm going to start with signage. When you hear the word signage, there may be several things that come to mind. And you're probably right as to what you're thinking. Just to give a definition of what signage is the display of identifying and informational content to help the customer with recognition and decisions about a store, a brand, or a location. There are four types of signage that we're going to cover today. One is outdoor signage, the other is persuasive, the other is informational, and compliant signing. The first type of signage is outdoor signs. Now, this is exactly what it sounds like it is. It means anywhere that you see a sign located outdoors is considered outdoor signage. Now, one of the main types of outdoor signage is a billboard. Those are the rectangular signs that you see along the highways or main streets that show advertisement. Billboards have improved over the years and have become more engaging to the consumer. Nowadays, when you're driving down the highway, you can be looking at a billboard and it changes from one ad to another. I remember when those first came out, at first they used to be these little individual sections that would rotate around, like 360 rotate. Now they are made with all type of LED lighting or whatever they're called. I don't know all the technical things behind it, but the images can just change on the screen just like they would do on a television rather than having a manual operation where they turn around, because it would be like, I don't know how many of those rectangular silos that will go across the billboard, but they would all turn at the same time to create another ad. But now they're just digital. They play like a TV in many areas where the images are just changing and going from one ad to another. So those are billboards. Now you can find billboards that are still the traditional billboards. They may be smaller billboards that you can find along a major street that aren't so high. I don't even know how tall those things are, but that aren't so high that they're not taller than a light pole or anything like that. Those go along major streets, and they're a little less expensive, a lot less expensive than those billboards you'll see going down the highway. But outdoor signage can also be inclusive of the little A-frame signs that you see a retailer set outside their door. That is outdoor signage. Sometimes they'll have a pedestal with a rectangular or square sign on it. That's outdoor signage. So anything that is put in an outdoor area that has some type of promotional activity on it for a retailer, a company, an entity, or what have you, that is considered outdoor signage. Hey, adventurous educator. I have the Ultimate Fashion Marketing Class Bundle. It's packed with 4 vibrant presentations, fun and engaging activities, quizzes, and 4 major projects for an immersive semester of fashion exploration. And it comes with a pacing guide for an 18-week semester. Additionally, each assignment has detailed student instructions and suggested pacing times so that you can tailor the time frame to fit your teaching schedule. For more information about this must-have bundle, go to marketingadventure.com and search Ultimate Fashion Marketing Class Bundle, or simply click the link in the show notes. Now back to the show. The next type of signage is persuasive signage. Now, this is the type of signage that is doing its intentional thing to promote whatever the message is. It could be a sale, it could be a product, it could be a price point. It is established so that it can promote the products, the brand, or engage the customers to take action. That is the number one goal of persuasive signage, for the customer to take action on what the sign is promoting. Now, those can come in various forms. Of course, persuasive signage could also be outdoor signage. It could be an ad on a wall. It could be in a display window where it says 50% off sale. It could be something that's promoting back to school, which is the season that we're in right now. So persuasive signage is going to let a customer know that there is something in particular that they want you to do, and it is going to promote and entice you to take that action. The third type of signage is informational, and it is designed to do just what the word says, inform. So this is going to possibly help you navigate through a store by telling you which way a department is. It can communicate key information or key messages. It could be a sign that has the mission of the company on it. When you come into a store, it could just have information about the company. A lot of times, companies nowadays are promoting like their social responsibility, or they may be telling you various things about the company or a product, or not even a product, but a brand. It can be informing you about a brand, but it's not necessarily trying to get you to make a purchase. It wants to provide you with information. And of course, that information is designed to help you become familiar with the company or the brand. And it could be a point that resonates with you, especially like if they're promoting social responsibility, then you can be like, oh, I once volunteered with that organization, or, oh, I like the idea that they give back to the community. So informational signage just really lets you know something that the company wants to inform you about. And it could be a call to action, because it could be, if they're doing social responsibility things, maybe they're asking you to donate. Maybe they're asking you to come and volunteer. You never know. It could be a wide variety of things, but it's not necessarily aimed at you making a purchase. The fourth and final type of signage is compliant signing. This kind of signage supports many regulations that have been established for members of our society that may have disabilities, or just to ensure the safety of the environment in which the retailer is operating in. So Americans with Disabilities Act, Occupational Safety and Hazard Administration, and American National Standard Institute are the regulations that are followed to ensure that customers can safely navigate through the store. So you may see wheelchair signs, which are often blue with a wheelchair and a person in it. You may see other safety signs that have caution on them, to be mindful of your step or to stay away from a certain area. Um, those are the things that stores will have to ensure that they're following regulations, and to make sure that they are cognizant of the needs of our members of society that have disabilities, that may need accommodations. So those are very key to have in place, and it helps the retailer themselves stay compliant with regulations, and lets the customer know that, hey, please be mindful of this, or we have this in place to accommodate your needs. Now, as I wrap up this episode, I want to just go back over the 8 components of visual merchandising that we will cover during this 5-part series. So we're going to talk about signage, which I talked about today. And remember, signage has 4 types of signage: outdoor, persuasive, informal, and compliant. And then next week, we're going to talk about exterior displays and interior displays. And then the other components that we'll talk about over the next 4 episodes will be atmospherics, floor plans, display elements, planograms, and those touch points. I do thank you for joining us here with Marketing Adventure with Jackie, and I hope to see you next week. Come back. Until then, y'all have a wonderfully blessed day. Thanks for listening to Marketing Adventure. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, and share this episode with someone you think would benefit from the information shared here today. If you have any questions or want to connect with me, find me on Instagram at Marketing Adventure. All links and resources discussed in this episode can be found in the show notes at marketingadventure.com. Hey, thanks for stopping by Marketing Adventure. Let me guess, you are a fashion marketing teacher or someone who incorporates fashion into your curriculum. Maybe you're new or a seasoned teacher who just needs to refresh their resources in their curriculum. And maybe, just maybe, you also are a sponsor or an advisor for a CTSO program. Well, Marketing Adventure was created with you in mind. My name is Jackie Walker, and I was a classroom teacher just like you. For 14 years, I taught a 4-year fashion marketing program that consisted of 7 preps. Yes, 7 preps. And that included an 18-hour dual credit visual merchandising program that the students received a certificate for. It also included a entrepreneurship academy. And in that 14 years, I produced 12 student-run fashion shows. I also was a DECA advisor for 14 years and a certified entrepreneurship teacher. Now, I bring to the table a degree in clothing and textiles with a minor in business. And prior to the classroom, I gained a wealth of experience as a salesperson, retail manager, a project manager, and also an entrepreneur. Okay, what you can expect from the curriculum at Marketing Adventure is rigorous assignments that engage the students and encourages collaboration, and it helps the students explore fashion from a creative and business perspective. Not only will you find my resources here, but you can also find them on my website, marketingadventure.com. And I also have a podcast created with you in mind where I share tidbits that will help you in the classroom in teaching fashion marketing to your students. And also you can use them as a guide or as a supplement to some of the content that you are actually teaching in the classroom. They will be great for you to add as a link for your students to listen to. Also, head on over to YouTube as I develop content that you can use in your classroom, as well as to supplement your learning and resources as a teacher. And we all know that you could use a buddy in the classroom because likely you are the only one teaching fashion marketing on your campus and maybe even in your district. Head on over to Facebook where you will find the Hub for Fashion Marketing Teachers. It's a private group made especially for you where we can all engage on a weekly or even daily basis about the thing that we have no one else to talk to about related to fashion marketing curriculum.